Hey y'all. So today I'm going to talk about 19 different places that you should go visit in West Virginia. I'm going to talk about bridges, state parks, state forests. I'm going to talk about museums. I'm going to talk about things you can do indoors and outdoors. So here are 19 places that you should go visit in West Virginia. So the first one is the New River Gorge Bridge, which is part of the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve. So the bridge is a single arch steel span bridge which is 3,030 feet long, and it goes over the New River. It is located near Fayetteville, and it is the largest single span steel arched bridge outside of China, and it is the 5th largest in the world. If you go to the bridge underneath it here, there is a catwalk that you can walk underneath the bridge, which is under the roadway. You will be able to see the water from below. I've heard that it is a beautiful sight. I have not done it because I'm scared of heights. And at the bridge, every third Saturday of October is what's called Bridge Day, where they close the bridge down and people can base jump off the bridge into the river below. I think that the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve is just a beautiful mountainous region that you can do hiking. You can go biking, ATV riding, you can go on like trails, like if you have a Jeep. So everyone should visit the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve and the bridge. The next place is Blackwater Falls State Park. Blackwater Falls State Park is in Tucker County. As you can see, they've got a waterfall at the state park, and Blackwater Falls State Park is named for the river because the water does look a blackish color because of the rocks and some of the chemicals that are let off into the river. The next place is the Greenbrier Resort. So the Greenbrier Resort is located in White Sulphur Springs in Greenbrier County. The Greenbrier Resort is situated on 11,000 acres of land with 710 guest rooms. There's 20 restaurants and lounges and more than 55 indoor and outdoor activities and sports that you can do at the resort. The resort is very well known for having a bunker underneath it. The bunker was built during the Cold War, so if something ever happened, the members of the House and the Senate would have a place to hide. It was declassified in the 90s, and now you can go take tours of the bunker. It is amazing. We toured it a few years ago. Everyone should go visit the beautiful Greenbrier Resort. The next place on my list is the town of Harpers Ferry. So Harpers Ferry is a historic town in Jefferson County. It's situated where the Potomac and the Shenandoah rivers meet and where Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia meet, and it's the most eastern town in West Virginia. So Harpers Ferry is known for the 1859 raid that abolitionist John Brown did there. He wanted to raid the Harpers Ferry Armory in an effort to have an uprising slave rebellion in the South. So Harpers Ferry is home to John Brown's fort. It is the most visited tour site in West Virginia. Harpers Ferry is also the headquarters of the Appalachian Trail because the midpoint is right there. It is the home of the former Storer College, which was a historically black college established during the Reconstruction. And it is one of 4 training centers for the National Park Service. So there is a lot of history in Harpers Ferry to explore. So the next place on the list is Cass Scenic Railroad State Park. There are multiple things you can do at Cass Scenic Railroad State Park, but the biggest attraction are the trains. So they have multiple different days throughout the year. They have like a train day where they bring in all kinds of different locomotives. They do special events during the holidays with train rides. You can take the train up the mountain and back down. You can also stay in these cabins that are at the state park, which workers used to live in cabins like those. So Cass Scenic Railroad State Park. Next on the list is the Monongalia National Forest. So the Monongalia National Forest is in eastern West Virginia. It protects 921,000 acres of federally managed land with 1,700,000 acres proclaimed in its boundaries, including much of the Potomac Highlands and a portion of 10 counties. So within this forest boundaries lies the highest mountain peak in West Virginia, which is called Spruce Knob, which is 4,863 feet above sea level. As you can see from Spruce Knob here, the view is amazing and you can hike to the top of Spruce Knob. So it's something that everyone should enjoy and everyone should do. So the next is the West Virginia State Museum. So the West Virginia State Museum is located at the West Virginia State Capitol Complex in Charleston. So the West Virginia State Museum has history, culture, art, anthropology, archaeology, paleontology, geology. It's all mixed into one museum. So they have like different rooms set up for different time periods. So like here is a room dictating like the coal mines that are part of West Virginia's history. Then they're going to have like little company stores so you can go in and see like what was being sold during what time frames. It's actually in the basement of the building. I've been multiple times and it is a blast to go see. Then you have the Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine. So the Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine is a coal mine that you can tour in Beckley, West Virginia. There is a 35-minute underground tour that you can take. So you do like take the trails, you go back, they turn the lights off, show you how dark it would be, talk about equipment. You can also tour like the old company houses, buildings, the old company store. What you can't see in the picture are like old schoolhouses, old buildings. You can go in and see how the miners would have lived when they lived in the coal camps. Moving on to Lost World Caverns. Lost World Caverns is located right outside of Lewisburg. You can explore the caves on marked paths. So you got like the stairs here, and they do have a couple unmarked paths that you can do more exploring if you are a more experienced cave person. We haven't been to Lost World Caverns yet, but it is on my list of places to go. Berkeley Springs State Park is next. It is situated in Berkeley Springs, which is in Morgan County. So the centerpiece of the park is this historic mineral spring. The waters were celebrated in the past for their like medicinal healing powers, and it was said that if you got in the water, it would help solve any ailments you had. So this has actually been a health resort since the 1750s, as it was when it was property of Lord Fairfax of Virginia. So the native people would visit these springs. They felt like it was healing, it would help take care of them, as did George Washington. So Berkeley Springs is the only state-run spa in the United States, and it is operated by the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources. If you want someplace creepy to go, you should go to the West Virginia Penitentiary. So this is a Gothic-style prison located in Moundsville, West Virginia. It was in operation from 1866 to 1995 and is currently just a place where you can go and tour. They have a museum inside. You can tour the old cells. It has been the filming location for multiple movies, multiple TV shows, and it also is a training facility for people in public service. So if you want something more creepy in West Virginia, go visit the West Virginia State Pen. So the next thing on the list is the West Virginia Waterfall Trail. So yes, it is technically more than one place to visit, but it is like a route of waterfalls that you can follow to go visit them all. So the Waterfall Trail has 43 waterfalls, and I've put 3 of them on the list right here. You have Cathedral Falls, which I have been to multiple times, and after a good rain, this is gushing with water. You have Canal Falls, which is honestly absolutely beautiful. And then this is called Big Branch Falls. I have not been to Big Branch Falls, but it is now on my list of places to go, as well as I want to do the West Virginia Waterfall Trail this summer, if possible, and get them all completed. Back to creepy and spooky West Virginia, we're going to have the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. So the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was a psychiatric hospital which is located in Weston, West Virginia. It was also known as the West Virginia Hospital for the Insane, and it was also known at one time as the Weston State Hospital. So patients were admitted into the hospital. They started coming in October of 1864, and they would come in through May of 1994. In 2008, it would reopen for a tourist location. They are currently still redoing rooms, opening new spots in the hospital that you can visit. And it's not just this big, humongous building. There's building here. This is like the medical wards. You have buildings back here. They do extra spooky stuff at Halloween. It's been in multiple documentaries about like ghost finding and how creepy it is. I've been to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum once, and I cannot wait to go back. Then you have Blennerhassett Island Historical State Park. So this is located on Blennerhassett Island, which is a small island in the Ohio River located in Wood County. So this was a mansion that Harmon Blennerhassett had. Harmon Blennerhassett has ties to Aaron Burr and conspiracy, murder, treason. It's a really interesting story if you ever want to look into Harmon Blennerhassett and Aaron Burr. But this was the mansion. The original mansion would burn to the ground in 1811, and a replica would be built So it would be there for historical reasons to tour the island to see what life was like living on Blennerhassett Island in the 1800s. Moving on to Babcock State Park. Babcock State Park is located along the New River Gorge in Fayette County. So what you see here is the Glade Creek Grist Mill, and it is one of the most photographed places in West Virginia. This is actually a replica of the original Cooper's Mill that was located nearby. This mill has thousands and thousands of pictures taken out of every year with the different seasons, with the different, like, depending on how much rain and the water flow. It is an iconic place in West Virginia that is photographed. At Babcock State Park, there are 28 cabins, 52 campsites. You can go hiking, you can go biking. There are all kinds of things to do in the state park. The next on the list is Seneca Rocks State Park. So Seneca Rocks State Park is located in Pendleton County. So this is known as Seneca Rocks, and the South Peak is the only peak inaccessible except by really experienced rock climbers. There are trails to get up. I am a chicken, so I will never do that. It is really important in history because in the 1940s, it was part of training for U.S. Army members who were going to be sent overseas, and they prepared by climbing these rocks and to see what they were going to be climbing, because it was a lot of the same landscape as it was over in Europe. So Seneca Rocks State Park and Seneca Rocks played a role in preparing World War II soldiers. Next on the list is the Dolly Sods Wilderness Area. So this is a U.S. wilderness area in the Allegheny Mountains. You are allowed to camp in the wilderness area. They just ask that you leave no trace behind. You're allowed to hunt and fish there within state laws that are permitted. The Dolly Sods Wilderness Area becomes really popular during midsummer because people go there to pick the blueberries and the huckleberries. Next on the list is Watauga State Park. So I've been to Watauga State Park because this is Droop Mountain, which was a battlefield during the Civil War. But now I want to go back again because they are now a dark sky park to see the stars. So they are a dark sky park where at night you can go and there is no light pollution, so you can see and take amazing pictures of the stars. So Watauga State Park, someplace you should visit, especially if you love space. And rounding out my list is going to be the Mothman Museum and the Mothman statue. So this is in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The Mothman, of course, is a American cryptid who's started in the 60s in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So you can go to the museum. There are old artifacts, stories, memorabilia, and then right beside the museum is the Mothman statue that a lot of people go and take pictures of. So Mothman Museum, the Mothman, especially if you like cryptid, like Bigfoot kind of things, this would be a great place for you to visit. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more videos like this one, please like, subscribe, and comment below with what place would you like to go visit in West Virginia.